Hi, I'm Nikki
And I'm Flossie.
with Your Thoughts Create.
We are the funniest, wittiest mindset coach duo on YouTube and every other platform. Facts.
So, if you guys would like one-on-one coaching with myself, Flossie, it will be linked below. We also offer our manifestation station, which is group coaching, where Flossie and I go live in our group once a week. It will be twice a week coming soon once we get some more members in there. But for now, once a week to help you with your current manifestations and any questions you may have.
And Nikki just launched a brand new email manifestation evaluation, which will be particularly helpful for those of you who speak another language, because you could have, that interpreted. Very helpful. And if you're on a budget. Plus, I have my SP course, 3 courses in one: how to become a master of manifesting, how to become the best version of you, and how to manifest your SP. People are using it all across all areas of life and getting their fucking shit.
Now, before I announce this video, let me just say, I helped Flossie with the website to put her SP course up. I took the SP course to look through it. She has had nothing but success stories, and it is probably the best course out there. Just saying. Not biased. So today's video is a manifestation hack that I think a lot of people will benefit from. We're going to talk about how you can create a new story by using assumptions that you already have, so you don't have to change those assumptions.
Exactly. So, for example, we create assumptions regularly, like we've been doing it since the beginning of time. And so whether it's information that people tell us that are in a position of trust, or whether it is our life experiences, we do form assumptions and we have them, right? And so there's times where we're wanting to manifest something, but we can already use an assumption that we have hardened into fact to propel that manifestation into reality. So I applied for a scholarship. My school had a scholarship and I applied for it. It was actually a fairly good sized scholarship. I have an assumption that I still have, I've had it, that when I apply for a scholarship, I get almost every single scholarship I apply for because I'm very good at writing essays and people just fucking love me, period. And so why would I, because I was asked this question, since you're a master manifester, why didn't you just manifest getting the scholarship and not applying for it? Because I didn't want to overcome my hardened assumption that I need to apply and write that essay because that's how people love me and choose me, versus spending 15 minutes to actually literally just apply and spit out an essay because I can write them like that and fucking get it. Did I get the scholarship? Yes, this bitch got it. Why? Because I pretty much always get every scholarship I fucking apply for. So I basically applied for it and was like, boom, this shit is mine. It belongs to me. I didn't, I just used my old story, old assumption that actually works for me. It's a good assumption. It's not a negative old story. It's not one that I don't prefer that we're going to stick in the fucking trash. It's one that works for me. So if you have assumptions that work for you, use them to your advantage.
Exactly. So that being said, we just released our God state meditation, subliminal affirmation rampage, right? To get into God state. Now, I have personally done meditations to get into the God state. However, I was brought up a God-fearing Christian. Okay, we're talking church, Monday through Sunday, constant church. I fear the Lord. Okay. That is where I am. Do not strike me down. So I cannot personally feel comfortable or confident saying I am God. Now, do I believe that I am one with God, that God resides in me? Absolutely. Flossie believes that she is God. She is God's source. I believe that. In a different perspective, in a different culture, in a different upbringing, I am using my previous assumptions to my advantage, knowing that the Lord works through me. And that is how I manifest. So I personally say God works through me. God is answering all my prayers. I manifest quickly and easily. I'm powerful because of that. Now, this works for any religion. This works for any culture, any upbringing. I don't care if you're Buddhist, Hindu, whatever, some cult somewhere. This will still work for you. Utilize the assumptions that you hold already to help you manifest.
You can apply this to pretty much nearly every situation. Like, for example, I also have an assumption that I get interviews for nearly every job I apply for. And if I actually get that interview, which just happens quite frequently, I'm offered the position. So you can use those type of things to your advantage, because if you are, wanting a different job and you have the assumption already that that you get interviews most of the time, or if you don't have that, but when you have an interview that you get the job, you can be like, getting a job is so easy because I'm always getting hella interviews and I get hired off of every interview that I have, or I get a job offer with every interview. But you can use that to propel you. There are some people out there that are like, well, if you're such a powerful manifester, you should manifest the job like falling in your lap. You shouldn't have to apply or do anything. That is true. But if you have a hardened assumption that you have to apply and you see a job that you're interested in, why not just take the inspired action and apply? Some people have this little bit of confusion that like you're supposed to sit on your ass and never lift a finger, never do anything, and everything's supposed to come to you. Now that's possible, but you have to overcome your assumptions that you may have about, having to apply for something, or, there's so many things that we have assumptions like that about. It's not necessary to overcome every single assumption that you have. Don't put energy wasted where it doesn't need to be. Have assumptions that work for you, build on assumptions you already have. If you have assumption that everybody loves me the minute that they meet me, use that for getting a job. Well, everybody loves me the minute they meet me. That's why I get every job I apply for, or every job that I interview at, where, you know what I'm saying? You can use what you already have to propel you. Think of the assumptions that you have. Think of the assumptions that you're building on self-concept. Like everybody likes me the moment that they meet me. You can use that to justify other manifestations.
Now, I want to add to that. I have had clients that have come to me looking for a job or looking to manifest money, and they feel like they have the worst luck with jobs. Okay. So you don't have to hold the assumption like Flossie or I do, where you get every job you apply for. However, you still are going to have that core assumption that you need to work, take action, apply to get a job. So you're going to want to change that core assumption you have about getting the job and say, I get all the jobs I want. Everybody wants to hire me. And that's something you would start changing your assumption for, because you don't already have to hold that assumption. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but you still would use that core assumption that you might have to apply or show up in person for an interview to receive a job offer. That also being said, there's other things that I have been asked as a coach, such as somebody trying to win the lottery, for example. Okay.
Which you've won a few. You win money all the time.
I do. I win money all the time. Like my mom legitimately texts me when she's at the casino for good luck. Like I always win money. I was actually affirming, and it was funny. I was talking to Marsha and Flossie one day, affirming to win the lottery. Is that what it was? I was trying to win Mega Millions, which is a lottery we have where I live. And I didn't specify. I didn't get very detailed with that. And I won $10,000. And then another time I won $5,000. It was ridiculous. And I was like, oh, duh. I always win jackpots. That's what I need to be manifesting. Anywho, squirrel. Some of you are going to affirm for, I'm a lottery jackpot winner. Now, do you need to change the assumption that you need to go buy a ticket, or have a ticket, or enter some kind of raffle, or do whatever you have to do in your country, city, state, whatever, to win this lottery jackpot? Can you without entering? Yeah. Manifestation law of assumption says that you absolutely can change that state to where you wake up a multimillionaire. However, our preconditioning and belief system that we have already developed over years and years and years would tell you that it's easier to take inspired action, go to the store, and purchase a lottery ticket while you're affirming to win the lottery. Now, I have seen or heard about stories. I have personally heard stories about people finding a lottery ticket they never purchased, and they won a couple bucks from that. But we already have that assumption that we need to physically get off our butt, go to the store, pay $2 for a lottery ticket, and that's how we win. It's easier,
or at least have the ticket from some source.
Have the ticket, right? Now that ticket can come to you in any way. Somebody can gift it to you. You can find it. However, if this is one of your dominant dominant manifestations you're working on, it's just simpler because you already have the assumption that you need the ticket to go get one.
And it's not like you have to obsessively buy tickets. Like when Nikki and I are talking about taking action, it is inspired action that we're talking about. It's not going to feel like work. It's just something you're going to do and then be like, oh yeah. So like you might be driving down the street. The lottery board that you pass by might have a lottery that has your numbers, your angel numbers, if you're all into that. But you know, we all subscribe to like different numbers or what a lucky number is. Maybe it has your lucky number and you're like, oh, I'm going to get a ticket today. That might be the time that you win, but that's not going to feel like luck. You're not like obsessively going to buy the damn ticket. You're just like, that's my number. I'm going to go get that bitch, period. Or you see a job that interests you and you're like, oh, I'm going to apply for that. You don't even think about it. You just shoot off your resume. It's not like, it doesn't seem like work to you. It's just inspired action and you just do it.
Right. And let me just say, we do have a video coming out about obsession versus persisting. So don't go dropping your entire paycheck on lottery tickets. Manifestation is perfect. You just need one. You shouldn't have to work that hard.
Right. That is exactly right. You know, manifestation is simple and easy. We're trying to give you hacks and tips of things that you can do to just make your journey easier for you. And if you already have a hardened assumption, you do not have to change every single hardened assumption that you have to get your manifestation. There are ones that you have that could work for you. Some people have an assumption that they're lucky. Some people literally have that assumption. If you have that assumption, use it. I'm winning the lottery because I'm lucky. I'm always, you know, I have been lucky my whole life. That's why I'm the lottery jackpot winner, period. Use what you've already got to get to where you want to go. Period. You don't have to make this more work for you. You don't have to overcome a hardened assumption that is not necessary to get rid of to get to where you want to go. It's not a laziness issue. It's just like, why would you want to affirm and persist in something when you can just take 2 seconds and then still get to where you want to go?
Now, let me say, we're using the lottery as an example before anybody comments anything, because Flossie and I in other videos have said not to pinpoint how your manifestation arrives. If you're affirming for money, you would go general, broad affirmation. I have millions of dollars in my bank account. I have hundreds of $1,000s. I make $1,000 a day, whatever it is. You don't have to micro manage your manifestation and decide where it's coming from. This is pure example only.
And like one of my affirmations over time has been, I'm always getting money from all sources. I get money from all directions. I got literally over $150 in checks today when I went to the mailbox from an actual source. They're real checks. It had to do something with an employer. I had no idea I was going to get that money. And I was like, oh, well, cool. I've got an extra $150 that I didn't know was coming to me, period. So you can get money out of the blue from all sources. We hear people saying that they got refunds from shit that was years ago. They've got banks or credit card companies paying them back interest from a long time ago, or companies saying, you know, we never gave you your deposit back, sending them money. Like, you can get money from all sources, all directions. You never know where it's coming from. It could literally show up in your bank account. You could wake up and have it show up, but manifestations are going to show up in the most natural way to you. So if for me, if I woke up with money in my bank account and I all of a sudden had $5 million that came from some unknown source, I'd be like wondering if I'm going to jail. So my money ain't going to show up that way, period.
Right. So I manifested over $100,000 last year. Out of the blue. I persisted in it for 3 months. Why wasn't it sooner? I don't know. Maybe I was messing in the middle somewhere and trying to figure out where it was going to come from. However, it did come. I allowed it to come in. It came in a way I was not expecting. So for me personally, I just say I'm lucky. I always get money out of the blue. Money comes to me quickly and easily. I have multiple lucrative sources of income, however you say it. So there's so many different ways that can come to you, but the moral of the story is use the assumptions that you already hold to launch your manifestations rather than trying to change every core assumption you've had and developed in previous conditioning. How does this apply to SP? Before you ask us in the comments, we will just say how you can utilize this with your SP. When you met your SP, I guarantee you that's the version you're after. Whether you're married, you're manifesting somebody back, whatever your situation, circumstances that don't matter are. That is the assumption that you're going to take and use now. That's the version of them you will see them. That's the core assumption. He was this person before, he's going to be this person now. Whatever that shit was in between, that doesn't matter. That's old story, old thoughts playing out. What's your opinion on that?
I agree. Like you can use the assumptions that you had, because a lot of times when you meet your specific person, you both are your best versions. And then over time, it's your assumptions that are not favorable, that are not your preference, that end up showing up, because your SP and anyone in your reality is going to conform to your assumptions. So if you have assumptions men are liars, pieces of shit, douchebags, guess what? That's how he's going to eventually show up. Probably never a liar before you, could never be a liar after you, but they will be a liar to you if that's what your assumption is. So think of them as the previous version. The other thing you can do is that if you have any assumptions like true love always works, or I truly love, true love relationships always work out, or things like that, or people that love each other always stay together. You can use those type of things. Don't use something that's going to keep you in the old story, like men always come back to me. If that keeps you stuck in the old story too much, like we've talked about that, or men or women, doesn't matter, gender preference, I wouldn't stay focused on they always return, they always return. You don't want to cycle of them constantly leaving. You don't want to focus on the old story. But some of us do hold assumptions like, true love always stays together. If you have that assumption, if you have that assumption, you can use that, because that's something that you already assume, and you love this person and they love you, because obviously you wouldn't have that desire if it didn't already exist. So that means that desire comes from your God self. For you to have that manifestation with your specific person, there's already a version of them out there that loves you. You already love them. It already exists. Creation's already finished. That means they already love you. Facts.
Right. And that also applies if you were brought up to believe in soulmates or connections or karmatic ties, or if you did LOA before you switched up to assumption like we did, maybe you believe in twin flames. You can utilize that belief that you've already created to make your SP conform now.
Exactly. So what we're saying is that we're not going to challenge your already held assumptions, because we have held assumptions on different things based on our upbringing, based on what we've been exposed to. And you don't have to change every assumption that you have. What we're saying is that if you have an assumption that for your situation would work for you, utilize it as a reason as to why that your life is like that you have this and it belongs to you, and live from the end using that already hardened assumption.
Exactly. That is our TED Talk for today.
Period.
Exclamation point. So if you guys have any questions, please comment below. Us or one of our moderators would be happy to help you. Or you may join our free Your Thoughts Create Facebook group. We're also coaches for Sammy Ingram and the Mermaid Gang if you're not already a part of that group. Otherwise, we will see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.